Oh, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Little Fat Mushy Toe, representing the WCIS. We can inspire someone. OPP only promote positivity. Shout out to Waterbed Health. Shout out to Uncle DV. Shout out to the whole WCIS community. That's all about a unity. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's feeling good, feeling great. How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully, y'all had a wonderful weekend. All right, y'all let me know how we sounding in the chat. All right, everybody joining us for the first time. Oh, I love you, baby. Not like I love my guitar. Laura Guitar's in the building. What up, Laura Guitar? Welcome to the stream. Oh, wait a minute. It ain't even connected. Hold up. I gotta go connect the sound effects. Hold on.
Power on.
All right.
Pairing. Connected.
All right, there we go. Now we connected. Now we getting somewhere. All right. Now we getting somewhere. How you doing tonight, Laura? Now let's see. Let me give you a proper introduction. All right. There we go. All right, hold on. Let me fix this real quick. All right. How are you doing? Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Welcome to the show. We got a good show for you tonight. Tonight we're going to be discussing some really, really wonderful topics. And it's something that's really important. What up to everybody on the IG? Hopefully everybody's feeling good. Hold on, let me get the IG to center it. All right, welcome everybody in the WCIS. All right, when you're coming into the door, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit the notification bell and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. You know, join the community. That's all about unity. Laura is watching me and watching Suicide Squad. All right. How is the sound, Laura? Is the sound good? We sounding good? I want to make sure everything is good before I really get into the show. And let me fix this too. Fix this a little bit. All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about communication. It sounds perfect. Wonderful. That's all I needed to hear. Tonight we're going to be talking about communication. We all know that communication is key, but for some reason it seems like it's something that a lot of people have a hard time doing. You know, hold on, let me turn my notifications. Let's turn the sound off. All right. We're going to be talking about communication tonight, and a lot of people say, like, when you ask people what's the most important thing when it comes to any kind of relationship, be it your friends, be it relationship, be it family, communication is always at the top of the list. So, but then on the flip side, it seems like a lot of people have a hard time communicating. You know, people have a hard time expressing themselves and asking for certain things, or saying no to certain, saying no or asking for help or apologizing. And all of those things are under the umbrella of communication. You know, if you feel comfortable with someone, you shouldn't have a problem with saying, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have a problem with saying, I need help. And you shouldn't have a problem with saying, be right back, little brother. Going to share on Facebook. Thank you so much, Laura. I truly appreciate it. So everybody is watching. That's the first question that I have for everyone. Tell me, which one do you have a harder time with? Saying I'm sorry, asking for help, or let me see, what could be the third one? Saying I'm sorry or asking for help. All right. So for everybody's watching, which one do you have more difficult time? saying I'm sorry, or asking for help. You know, a lot of people have a hard time asking for help. A lot of people have a hard time apologizing. Or admitting that you are wrong. Those are the three. Which one do you have a harder time with? Asking for help, saying I'm sorry, apologizing, or admitting when you are wrong. All right? Those are the three questions. Like being able to admit when you're wrong, you know, and really sit down and have a discussion about it. You know, holding yourself accountable. Baddie's in the building. What up, Baddie? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. All right. Tonight we're gonna be talking. Actually, let me Laura says she has a hard time with asking for help and saying I'm sorry. All right. Why is that, Laura? You know, where do you think that stems from? Let me put the communication is key. So that's the topic for tonight. We're gonna be talking about communication. All three. She went from both to all three. But why do you think that is, though, Laura? All right. Why do you think that is? And where do you think it stems from? I've always had a problem with asking for help. I don't like asking for help. Let me tell you that right now. Tove don't like asking for help. I really don't. And I know that that's not a good trait. You should be able to feel comfortable asking for help. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think if a person has a problem saying that they're sorry, that's a huge problem. You know, that's a really big problem. When has that haunt, you know, how many times has that come to haunt you? You know, not being able to hold yourself accountable and say that you're sorry. Copy. All right, let me put that in the chat. All right, so Laura said she has a hard time. Congratulations to Badgurl. Actually, absolutely. Baddie says she has a hard time asking for help. All right. And Laura says she has a hard time asking for help and saying I'm sorry. Now, that's one thing I've never had a problem with. I've never had a problem with saying I'm sorry. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I don't have no problem. BX the Great One with your Rudy Pool candy eyes. What up, BX the Great One? Tonight we're talking about communication. All right. So the first question for tonight is, which one do you have a harder time with? Saying you're sorry or asking for help? And why? Why do you have a hard time asking for help, Baddie? All right. That's my question. Me, out of the two, I have a harder time asking for help. Saying I'm sorry is not a big deal. I could say I'm sorry. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't have a problem with admitting it. We got somebody knocking on the door. Come and knock on the door. Yeah. All right. We about to bring to the stage my sister from another mister. Alright. We bringing Baddie to the stage. She got the lights. It look like she ready to do her own podcast. Alright, Baddie. Let's step it up. Let's bring Baddie to the stream. Alright, Baddie is in the building. What up, Baddie?
Hi, how are you?
Yo, Baddie. I like the lights. I like the backgrounds. Looking real nice over there, Baddie.
I got the
microphone. Yo, hold up, Baddie. Baddie, you done stepped it up. Hold on, let's get the. All right, Baddie. Yeah, I'm not even gonna. I usually have it like this, but your background is so nice. We're gonna keep it like this for right now, so they can see the mic and everything. All right, so look.
So that's the projector that we always watch shows on.
Oh, okay.
Focusing
Here
on
you
it.
go, babe. Hey, Baddie done stepped it up. All right. So tonight we're talking about communication, right? So you said you have a hard time when it comes to asking for help.
Yes, 100%.
All right. So where do you think that stems from?
Probably my childhood, to be honest.
Okay.
But for me, I can admit I'm wrong all day long. I'm human. I can be
I'm with you on
wrong.
that. I can
say
always
I'm
say when I'm
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah. What were the other ones? It was asking for help, admitting when you're wrong.
And apologizing.
Oh, I can apologize. You know I can apologize.
Right. So where in your childhood made it difficult for you to feel like you couldn't ask, you have a hard time asking for help? Because out of the three, I agree with you. Asking for help is definitely the toughest one for me. I don't know if it's because of my pride. I don't know if it's a trust issue. I don't know if it's a fear of rejection. But asking for help is definitely, out of those three, are definitely the one that I can't really.
Oof. Those are all really good ones too. I think it stems from my childhood because it's kind of like you're giving the other person the chance to be like, nah. You know what I mean? You give them that power. Because
Right.
for me, asking for help is like, I don't think it's weakness at all. I think it actually is. People are like that ask for help. They have a lot of strength. But for me, it's like if I ask you for help and that slight chance that you could say no, forget about it.
Hold on a second. I gotta go turn the speaker off. Hold on.
Wait, what's up, chat? How y'all doing? I lost my title tonight.
Power off.
You know, ain't no thing. Badgurl won respectfully, as she should.
All right, we're gonna bring BX had a comment. Let's see what BX had to say. All right, wait a minute. We're gonna have to do it like this. So, and yeah. BX, he done cut us completely off the show. BX, look, we can't even see us. Hey, Baddie, hiding behind the chat. All right, I have a hard time with both because I don't like asking for help because people always use it against you. Second, sometimes I have a hard time saying I'm sorry. Sometimes, most of the time, they started. Okay. So, BX says, just like, he said he has a hard time with both. Actually, hold on. Let me fix something in the settings real quick. Give me 1 second, all right? Actually, I'm gonna bring you to the front of the stage while I fix it real quick. All right, there you go. A Baddie is in the front of the stage. So yeah, you could go ahead and answer the question though. Stemming from your childhood, do you think do you think it's a trust issue, or what do you think? Where do you think it stems from? What's the root of the problem where you have a hard time asking for help?
I think it's because when I was younger, I was like, I wasn't helped. If anything, I was like put down. So It's like I don't give people the opportunity. Like, even if I'm struggling and it's a job meant for two people and I can do it myself, but it will take longer, I'll just do it myself. You know what I mean?
Okay. Right. All right. I think I fixed it now. I could bring myself back in. All right. How are you working on that? Because being able to ask people for help, because you know that most of the most successful people in the world are people that have no problem with asking others for help.
So my thing is, if I trust you, I trust you, but it has to come from a place of love. You know what I mean? I have to know that me coming to you for help won't jeopardize me in a way.
Okay. What up, Ashley Larry? What's going on, my brother? The fourth hostman. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Okay. So you said that asking for help is actually you feel as if it makes you a stronger person when you're able to ask for help.
Yeah. Like, if I could not be this way and I could be like, hey, I need help, I would most definitely do it. But I think it's trust issues for real. If I think about it, it all stems down to trust issues. I
agree, because that's what it is for me. When I ask someone for help, I want, first of all, it's trust issues and it's fear of rejection for me. It's both. I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to ask for help and someone say no, or I don't want to ask for help and feel as if I'm putting a burden on someone, you know. And I think it's even a little bit more difficult for me as a man asking for help. You know, as a man, it makes it even more difficult for me. I'm not going to hold you. And tonight's show is about communication. The reason why I asked that question is because both of those things are intricately intertwined when it comes to being able to communicate with people. You know, saying I'm sorry to your friends, family, boyfriend, wife, husband, whoever it may be. That is a huge communication key. You got to be able to say I'm sorry. You got to be able to ask for help from your family. Let me not say gotta. You should feel comfortable asking for help from your loved ones. But most of us don't even feel comfortable asking for help from our loved ones. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation tonight, because that has to stem from somewhere. So who do you feel comfortable asking? Is there anyone you feel completely comfortable asking for help? Where you like, look, I can ask this person for help and I ain't even got to think twice. I know they're going to help me. Huh?
My sisters. Okay,
both of your sisters. Okay, now why do you feel that way about them? Where does that, is it just a sisterly bond, or is it something, something that they have displayed where you feel like no matter what, they got my back?
No, because we always had the mentality of it's us against the world, you know, with losing our parents and everything. We kind of, you know, that bond just naturally got stronger because we went through tragedy at a young age together. So growing up, it was like, literally, they were my best friends. Like, I didn't need best friends. You know what I mean? So if I call my sister today and I'm like, hey, I need da-da-da-da, or can you do da-da-da-da? It's like, we can talk about it if it's an issue, but usually at the end of the time, or at the end of the conversation, they're like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay. So your sisters are the only people that you 100% feel comfortable asking for help. That's it? Nobody else? All right. So why is it easy for you to say, I'm sorry, or hold yourself accountable? Where did you pick up that trait? Why is it easy for you? Because it's not easy for everyone. It's really difficult for people to say that they're sorry, or to admit when they're wrong.
So my thing is, I look at things like, if it's done to me, like if someone does me dirty, or someone, you know, hurts me in any kind of way, or, you know, there's a miscommunication where things weren't lined up, and that person's like, am I bad for making you feel that way, or am I bad for this, or I'm sorry for this? Like, that makes me, because at that point, what's done is done. You can't go back and change whatever is done, but as long as you can admit that you were wrong in the situation, I can always move on. So I want to do the same because, like I said, I'm human. I make mistakes, you know? So when I can openly be like, and here's the thing, I can say I'm sorry because I understand, not because I agree.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sorry because you understand, but not because you agree. So
right.
Do you think it's healthy to tell someone that you are sorry, even if you're not really sorry? You understand where they're coming from. Well, like this. Let me give you an example. I don't like when someone says to me as an apology, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. I don't like that. Because to me, I don't believe. Do you think that's a real apology? Because I don't. I'm sorry that I made you feel that way is not the same as saying I'm sorry for what I did to you.
I think that's kind of what I'm saying in that sense, is I can understand but not necessarily agree. Like, let's just say me and my friend are having a fallout, right? She does stuff to me, I do stuff to her, and she's like, you really hurt me. You know what I mean? But I feel justified in what I did. So I'm going to say I'm sorry for how whatever I did made you feel, because that wasn't my intention. My intention wasn't for you to get hurt or feel any kind of way. My intention was to literally, I don't, you know, I'm not apologizing for what I did, but I'm sorry for how you perceived the situation.
So do you consider that a real apology? I'm asking. I'm just, you know, let's talk like we really talk. Do you think that's a real apology? If
I
you
would
said to
accept
me,
it.
Tovi, listen, let me flip it. If you said to me, Tovi, what you said to me really hurt my feelings, and I respect you as a friend, I respect you as a person, and what you said, I feel like you really disrespected me as a person and you disrespected me as a woman. And I said to you, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
No, not you feel that way. I'm sorry for how my actions made you feel.
Isn't that the same thing?
No.
How is that different? I'm sorry you feel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry what I did. I'm sorry what I did made you feel that way. It's the same.
Yeah.
I'm saying we're saying the same thing. Now, would you
I
take
feel
that
like
as an apology?
in that situation, you're kind of taking ownership. If you say it in a way where it's like, I'm sorry for you feeling that way, that's not an apology at all. That's like,
So
well,
how is it different than from me saying I'm sorry you feel that way and I'm sorry you feel that way compared to I'm sorry how I made you feel?
because then you're kind of taking ownership. You're seeing it from my side. Whereas the other one is like, sorry, ain't my problem.
Right, but do you see either one as a true apology?
Probably not, no. But the thing is, like, I have such little standard.
Badgurl is in the building. What up, Badgurl? The champ is here.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
What up, Badgurl? Welcome to the stream.
So, do I think that it's a real now? If someone said that to me, would I continue a friendship with them? Probably not. Or would it probably be the same? Probably not. Do I still appreciate them saying I'm sorry for my actions and how they made you feel? Absolutely.
Right, but if you wouldn't be friends with them after they gave you an apology like that, then why would you give other people apologies like that? It's this. It doesn't. If it doesn't suffice for you, why would that apology coming from you suffice for someone else? I think to me,
I'm probably at that point done with that friendship already. If I apologize like that.
What if it? What I'm just saying hypothetically. Let's say it's somebody that you really do care about, somebody that you just don't want to walk away from.
And then I wouldn't apologize.
And they're telling you, look, I want you to acknowledge. I don't want you to acknowledge how I feel. I want you to acknowledge what you did that made me feel this way. So now the onus is on you. You have to acknowledge what you said or what you did that in turn made me feel this way.
Right.
And to me, that is a true apology. But if someone says, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, or I'm sorry I made you feel that way, and I get it now. I'm sorry you feel that way, and I'm sorry I made you feel that way. It is different. I just realized it when I said it right there. They are two different things. But although they are two different things, I don't think either one of them are a good apology. It's like they're two different things, but they both fall short of a real apology. If I hurt your feelings, I would say to you, hey, Baddie, please tell me what I did. Tovi, you said something to me and I took offense to it and I didn't appreciate it. Okay. Well, what is it that I said? Like exactly what I said. What is it that I said? You said A, B, C, and D. Okay, now what about that offended you? It offended me because of my religious belief. It offended me because of my political belief. It offended me because of the way I grew up. Okay, A, Baddie, I understand where you're coming from, and I didn't mean to hurt your feelings in any kind of way, and I apologize to you for what I said. Now that you explained it to me, I see where it could have been a little insensitive. So, although I didn't mean to hurt you, I was just joking around. But now that I realized that my joke went a little bit too far, I apologize for what I said. I'm not apologizing for how you feel. I'm apologizing for what I said. And I think that's the difference
for
between
what I for how I for okay. So how about
I'm apologizing to you for what I said to you.
But how about how it made me feel? I'm sorry that what I said got that type of reaction out of you. It wasn't my intention.
Right, but you can't control how someone feels, but you can only control what you said, what you say.
That is true.
So that's why I'm saying apologizing for how someone feels is not a real apology, because you have no power over how someone feels, but you have complete power over what you say. And if you can see it where it's like, well, it wasn't offensive to me, but I'm not, if it was me in the scenario, I'm not a young woman, or, I'm not the same ethnicity as A, Baddie. I'm not the same age as A, Baddie. I haven't gone through the same struggles as A, Baddie. I haven't lost someone in my life that was really important to me like a Baddie did. So although it's something that just falls off my shoulder as a joke, it offended her. So I'm apologizing for what I said to you. And I'm also sorry that it made you feel that way. But first, let me apologize for what I said, if you understand what I'm saying. All right. So also, have you ever had someone apologize to you and you didn't accept it? Somebody apologize, you like, yeah, whatever. I ain't trying to hear that. Because that is like, that's, if somebody sincerely apologizes and the person don't accept it, that's like, or vice versa. Have you truly apologized to someone and they was like, yo, you could kick rocks?
Yes,
you and your apology.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
All right, explain.
When it was the first time, yes. And
All
it
right.
was a real apology, right? I accept it. If anyone apologizes and they're like, I was wrong in the situation, again, like I said, you can't go backwards. You can only move forward. So I'm going to be like, you apologize. Thank you for your apology. We can move forward. Okay. But if it's a repeat offender in that sense, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. At that point,
all right.
You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting me to just forgive you because you said you're sorry. At that point, it's like actions speak louder than words.
I feel you. All right, let's bring up Laura's comment. She said, I'm supposed to apologize to my son and his girlfriend because I apparently talked too much about my stroke. I left Christmas dinner because he said they didn't want to hear about it. Hold on, let's bring that back up because there's a lot to unpack here. I'm supposed to apologize to my son and his girlfriend because apparently, well, it sounds like, okay, now that I've digested what you said, Laura, it sounds like you saying that kind of like tongue in cheek. Like you're saying it like, well, obviously what they're asking you to apologize for is asinine. Because you suffered something that, one, they didn't go through, and two, although it may make other people uncomfortable if you continue to talk about it, but it's still something that happened to you recently. And when tragedy strikes a person, a lot of times the easiest way for them to cope with it is to speak to the people that they love about it, and so they can understand what you went through, sympathize and empathize with you. So I don't think that you owe anyone an apology for expressing how you feel after going through a traumatic situation like suffering a stroke. I think that was a very insensitive comment from your son and his girlfriend. And number two, his girlfriend should have no say in the subject. Maybe his wife, but not a girlfriend. Girlfriends come and go too quickly and too easily to be I wouldn't let a girlfriend of mine speak on my mother's situation in front of me like that. I'll just say that. So I don't really want to get that. I mean, that's talking about your son, so I don't really want to get into it too much. But yeah, from my point of view, your son was a little insensitive and his girlfriend was completely out of line. And he should never let a girlfriend or even a wife talk ill of your mother, your father, or whoever it is in your family that raised you or you care for dearly, sister, brother, whoever. That's crossing a line. Now, if you married, that's different because now your wife is a part of the family. So she has a little bit of a say-so. But if she's a girlfriend, nah. You cannot let your girlfriend talk ill as a son. You can't let your girlfriend talk ill of your mother. I don't agree with that one at all. And it's okay if you want to talk about what happened to you. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with talking about what happened to you. Because why do you want to talk about it? What makes you? Yes. Oh, let me see. Yes, he was, and I'm sure she has his ear.
That's what I was gonna say. Literally,
yeah.
I think it's more of the girlfriend's doing than the son, to be honest.
Right.
But
absolutely, and that's a shame, because now this is going to go into a whole another topic, but I truly believe when you get married, you're supposed to put your wife ahead of your mother. But you don't put your girlfriend ahead of your mother. No. Your wife comes first. because you chose your wife. At one point, your mother was responsible for. At one point, our mothers were responsible for us. But that's because of a decision that they made to have you. You choose your wife. So you're promising her and you're giving her an oath and a promise before God that you're going to honor, obey, protect her, provide for her, whatever else is in your wedding vows and you know, the connection that you have with your wife. But you're supposed to put her first because you're choosing her to put her first in your life. So I think you put your, I mean, I truly believe that you put your wife ahead of your mother, but you don't put your girlfriend ahead of your mother. And if you can lay down in the bed and pillow talk with your girl about your mother, that says something about you as a man. What up? Trippy Tomb is in the building. What's going on, my brother? Welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, my iPad ran out of power. I thought I was charging it, but it wasn't charging. So I can't do the sound effect, but I'll give it to you. Acapulco. All right, Trippy Tomb is in the building. All right. What do you think about that, Baddie? Do you feel like when you get married, you're supposed to a man should put his wife ahead of his mother?
Yeah, because before they're married, right, the son is a part of the family that was his mother, father, siblings, whatever, right?
Right.
When a man or a female chooses to get married, now they're starting their own family.
Right.
So I do think that, in a way, I don't think that parties should disrespect each other in any shape or form. The wife shouldn't disrespect the mother shouldn't disrespect the wife. But now at that point, they're starting their own family.
Right.
So that's his number one. That's his number one priority. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now let's go a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole. Should you put your children ahead of your wife or husband?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
Your wife or your husband comes first, even before your children?
No, I'm gonna say children first.
Children over your wife or husband?
Yes.
Explain to me why.
Because the child doesn't have a say. They can't do anything for themselves. They don't have a mind of their own yet. They're still learning. I'm talking a child. Now, when the child becomes an adult, then obviously my husband at that point. But when they're kids, they need all of the attention from both of us. I don't even expect myself to be number one when it comes to my husband if we had kids. I want both of us to put the kids first because they need us. Like, we're their foundation at that point, you know, till they can build and start a family of their own.
Right. Okay. And that makes sense. I can see your point of view of it, but I disagree. I feel like your wife has to come first, and then the both of you together have to invest in the children. But I think both of you have to make sure that you keep each other at the forefront, so y'all both can invest in the children in the best way that you can. I don't think one person should invest in the children more than the other. I think y'all both should equally be investing in your children, but as a partnership. Not, okay, the wife is investing and paying attention to the children while you leaving the husband in the background. And I think that happens a lot.
No. Not for me, at least. I wouldn't want that type of relationship.
Right. Well, I mean, and also, I mean, I'm not trying to get too deep here, but it does say in the Bible that you're supposed to put your husband and your wife first.
He's like, technically.
I'm just saying that. I ain't saying that. God did. That's what God said.
Is wrong.
God said it. He said it. You know, he said you're supposed to put your wife or your husband before the children. But now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you put your wife or your husband before a baby. Because like you said, a baby is helpless. So at that point, y'all should both be investing in the baby. But what about when your child turns 7 or 8? Should that child still come before your husband? Still? Because their child, now I want you to think about it in the big picture. You might be thinking of a baby, but that person is still your child until they turn about 16, 17. So should your 13-year-old come before your husband? Because it's still your child. Listen to what I said.
At that point, though, the
But it's
13-year-old,
still your child.
they're still
Huh?
able. They're still able to take care of themselves. They're still
But
able.
it's your child, though.
No,
Nah.
I'm talking
See?
about a baby.
No, that's not what I said. I didn't
No, I
say
know, I
should
know.
you put a baby. I said your child, because until he or she is 18, he or she is still legally your child. I didn't say a baby.
Okay,
I said a child.
Let me ask you this. Right.
Okay.
All right. So, man and women have a kid, right? The kid, they have like 2, 3, whatever, how many kids, right? They have children, and the man or the female cheats, right? And
Whoa,
then
wait a minute. Back this up. Hold on. I think you lost me somewhere. Hold on. Go back. Wait a minute. Go back. What'd you say?
I said a man and women, they're married, right?
What up, Jenny? Welcome to the stream.
They have kids, right? Now they're one, and now they're building a little life together. And
Okay.
one of them cheats, right? Now the relationship is in turmoil because someone broke the vows, whatever, like they fell out of love. But that child is still your child. That husband can change. That wife can change. But a child only has one.
But the parents don't change. But the parents don't change.
The child only has one mother and one father. Yeah, they can have step parents or whatever, but literally only their mother and father brought them into this world, right? So I'm saying that a child is not disposable, meaning that they should have more weight compared to
but in that,
their wife.
you're absolutely right. But in that scenario, of course, you're not going to put your husband first because he cheated. At that point, that's a
possibility, though. How is a child?
Right, but Baddie, if he cheated, then you should divorce him. Then he would no longer be your husband. So then obviously you're not going to put him first.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when he is your husband and your child is 13 years old, you still putting your child ahead of your husband? I'm not saying the baby. I'm saying the whole time that they're a child. I'm just asking. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just trying to help you see it from a bigger picture, because your children do get older.
Yeah.
And then once your child gets older and you've neglected your husband, or once your child gets
I'm not saying neglect.
Right, but you're not putting him first. So that means you're showing him a certain level of neglect because you're putting someone else ahead of him. It's a certain level of neglect. Not total, you're not neglecting him, but you're showing him some type of neglect. Because at 12 or 13 years old, your child don't need the same type of attention that they needed when they was 3 and 4 years old. So at some point, your husband or your wife should come back to the forefront.
Yeah. At some point, sure. Yeah, I'll give it to you. At some point. Yeah,
okay. All right. We back on this. All right. We on the same page again.
Yeah.
All right. Meet me halfway. All right. So, I kind of got sidetracked when you brought up, like, when we was talking about, I don't know how we got into that, but let's get back to communication. All right. So let me ask you this. Who do you think are better communicators? Men or women? I want you to keep it 100 with me. Who do you think are better? No.
In different ways. In different ways.
All right.
In different ways.
Who are better? Who are better?
I think women. Women?
Okay, tell me why.
Because a man, unfortunately, is taught to not show any emotion, not, like, of course, there's anomalies where they're very open about how they're feeling and everything, but typically it's like they have like 3 minds or 3-track mind: eat, sleep, sex. You know what I mean? So it's like if a guy wants X, Y, and Z, like, you're not guessing, right? Whereas a female is more in tune with her emotional state, and she can be like, I feel this because of this. This is how you made me feel. Whereas men is like, we talked about it, we squashed it, move on.
Okay, so if you can understand what a man wants much easier, then isn't he communicating to you better? Because you understand exactly what he wants. So hasn't he communicated to you very well what he wants if it's very simple to understand us? You said it.
No.
All right, help me understand, because you just said men are very simple to understand.
No, they're very simple.
How can you understand us if we're not communicating to you clearly?
That doesn't make you a better communicator, though. Women actually
help me explain it.
Women actually express themselves in ways that men really don't want to or don't understand how to.
All right. So you're saying women just naturally understand men better than men naturally understand women. That's why.
Women are confusing as hell. I'll tell you that right now. Women
All
are
right. So
confusing
what?
as hell.
So what do you think makes women so confusing if they communicate the best? Come on, Baddie, you gotta bring it, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. What makes women so confusing? Because the only thing that if you're left confused about something, that means
Never
however you were
communicated.
trying to learn, you didn't understand it. You didn't understand it thoroughly enough to really grasp it completely.
Mm-hmm.
So if as a woman, if you're better at communicating, then why are women so hard to figure out? Y'all should be very easy to figure out because you can communicate so well that we should be able to see it as clear as day. But you just said women are confusing as hell. So then obviously the communication is somewhere getting lost. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just trying to.
No. Ashley made a comment that makes a lot of sense. Men are better at communicating on essential items.
Okay, let's see.
Basically saying we ain't shit, dog. No.
I feel that men are better at communicating on essential items. We get to the point and state what needs to be stated. I agree with that too. Mm-hmm. And he said but there are different scenarios though.
So,
right. So if women are better communicators, why?
I think women know how to express themselves more or better compared to men, where it's like they like right now. If Carrie and I got into an argument or a disagreement, I'm more likely to be like, "This is how I feel. This is how I felt. This is what this made me feel." Whereas he's like, I need time. Let me get over it. And it's like, no, let's talk. You know what I mean?
Right. And I agree with you. A lot of men are like that. Why do you think men are that way? Why do you think men have a hard time communicating?
Because it's, everything that goes on in life, society, their upbringing, they're told that it's soft. It's like, oh, women are the emotional ones. Men are the ones that just get it done, even though if they don't want to, they just do it because they have to. Right. So that's why I think women are more motherly to kids and men are just like A, B, C, D, At least a lot of people are like that. Not all. They're more like the structured ones, whereas, yeah.
I agree with Baddie. I think women express their feelings better than men. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I believe that women express their feelings better than men. I think men express their feelings more clearly than women, though.
I'll give you that. I agree.
I think men will tell you straight up. Women will tell you give you the whole gambit of how they're feeling. They'll express it to you. But I think a man expresses his feelings more clearly, where you can clearly understand what you said or did that bothered him, hurt his feelings, or rubbed him the wrong way. Where a woman may tell you how she's feeling, but at the end of the day, you're still like, well, I still don't really understand where we went wrong. Because feelings are so fluid. Where men are a little bit more logical and get to the point. And when you stick to the point or you're trying to get to the root very rarely shifts and moves. You don't see a tree in one place on one day and come back and see the tree in another place the next day. But the waves are always moving. I think men are like trees and women are like waves. Where the man is, the man is rooted. You can kind of look at the tree. You know what it is. You know what it'll provide. It's strong. It's quiet. The sea is moving, is loud. One day it can be calm, the next day it can be raging, the next day. So it's always the water is always expressing itself because it's moving. Mm-hmm. Where the tree is just standing still.
It feels how it feels.
It feels how it feels. Yeah. And I think that's
where women struggle. That's where women struggle, though, is, I'm speaking from experience, but it's like I say, oh, I want this. And then that is a good comparison. But then in reality, that's not what I want. I just want you to do what I want, but I'm not telling you what I want. You know
So
what I
do you
mean?
want a man to express himself to you the way you express yourself to him?
Probably not.
Do you want you want a man to express himself to you the way women express themselves? Would you find that to be completely attractive?
No, not at all.
Like imagine your man come home and he's like, babe, let me tell you what happened at work today.
No,
And he just sit there and
no.
and then this guy, he had on these shoes, and then, he had on these skinny jeans, but they didn't quite fit him right. He needs to lose a little bit of weight. And then you would be like,
Mm-mm.
although you may be interested in what he's saying, but it probably won't come across the right way coming from him.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right. So the way men communicate, do you feel like that's a good thing or a bad thing? Or where's the even ground? Where do you find the middle ground where it's like, for you as a woman, where's that middle ground? Where's the middle ground where it's like expressing himself enough, but he's not turning into a chatty patty?
I think that's, I mean, I might be crossing lines here, but I think that should be a female trait. And I think that a male trait should kind of
It's
be
usually
like,
a female trait.
it
I
should,
agree
yeah,
with you.
yeah,
Usually.
yeah. But like, if my man is doing that shit, I'll be like,
It would make
like
you feel
that.
a little...
Yeah, that
Right.
attraction level would naturally go low. Not saying that I'm completely not attracted to him, but I'm gonna be like, I don't even talk about people like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I think that if a man does that, then he needs to really just check.
Right.
his-
So then where's the even ground for you? Like where can he find the sweet spot where it's like, I'm expressing myself to you, but I'm not coming across as, chatty.
I think especially usually when things like that happen, it's like a disagreement of some sort, right? Or you're trying to get your
Mhm.
point across. I think if the man doesn't, because typically men don't want to speak about it right then and there, right? Typically, they want to just be like, give me some time, I'll come back to you. But express that. You know what I mean? Say, listen, right now is not the best time for me to talk about this. Let's talk about it in about 30 minutes when I can gather my thoughts and we can actually have a genuine conversation. I'll be like, cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a completely shut off where it's like, then it's
Okay, so now I have another great question for you. In your experience, why do you think men need that time to come back and revisit it in a half an hour? Where women want to talk right now. Let's talk about it. Why do you think?
Me all day long. It's right now.
Right. So why do you feel like you want to talk about it right now, and the man in your life or the men in your life prior are kind of like, give me a minute.
I think they're trying to gather themselves, gather their emotions and their thoughts, whereas women kind of speak before they think, and men kind of...
Now listen to what you just said. Women speak before they think. So how does that make them better communicators?
You got me there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of times where I definitely say things that I don't mean, but I said it out of emotion. And then it's like, if I would have spoke about it 20 minutes down the line, I would not have said what I said. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So now we get into the root of it. And it's not about me trying to prove my point. I'm just trying, from brother to sister, I'm trying to help you see it from a broader perspective.
Right.
If women want to speak in the moment and men want to take time to gather their thoughts before he expresses himself to you, don't you think the man is putting more effort into trying to communicate to you correctly, when the woman may say things and say it out of emotion, and now it's like, damn, I shouldn't have said that, or I definitely didn't say it the way I wanted to, where the man is like, let's not talk about it because we might be a little heated right now. Let's come back and talk about, or let me go take a walk. No, we're going to talk about it right now. And when you're in that emotional state, when you're all riled up, just like the river, and you see them tidal waves coming, you can't, if you're in the middle of the ocean and you see that tidal wave coming, you ain't getting away from it. You ain't out swimming it. You're going to get hit with it. Either you're going to drown or you're going to be really injured they're going to have to come get the helicopter and bring your ass up out the ocean. And when they do that, you half dead. We know that. So I'm just asking let's talk about it, from a man and a woman's point of view.
Right.
If the man needs a little bit of time to go gather his thoughts, and the woman is speaking out of emotion before she's really thinking about what she's saying, then doesn't that lend to a man wanting to communicate more clearer than a woman, where a woman she just wants to express herself, but maybe not communicate. Maybe you understand what I'm saying? Like,
No, I
it's
do.
a difference between expressing yourself and getting it off your chest,
And then actually
and
having
really
a conversation.
communicating.
Yeah.
Expressing yourself, you don't need someone else to go back and forth with you for you to express yourself to me. You just need me to listen and to understand. But for what we need to communicate, you need to listen to me, understand where I'm coming from, and try to solve the problem that I'm bringing to you. And then in return, you tell me what's bothering you.
Right.
We put that on the table, and then we solve the problem that you're bringing to me. But if we're just expressing ourselves back and forth without the proper communication, then we're not really going to get anywhere, because no one is focusing on, okay, this is what Baddie is saying to me. Let me take heed to what she's saying. Let me sit down and digest it and really understand it, so I can work on fixing it.
Yeah. In that situation, I definitely, I respond. I listen to respond. I don't listen to digest. You know what I mean? As soon as you said something in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna say this as soon as he's done. You know what I mean? So that's not effective communication. I agree.
Right. And to me, I don't want to come across any kind of way, but that thinking before you speak, and you said it. You said women, a lot of times women speak before they think. And to me, I feel like that's more of a female trait than a male trait.
Yeah.
Because men are not as emotional. So it takes a lot for you to keep poking at a man for him to eventually have an emotional outburst. And by the time a man is ready to have that emotional outburst, it could become real dangerous, because he's been suppressing something for so long, where it's like, look, I don't want to talk about it. Look, I don't want to talk about it. Point. Right. And then everybody has a boiling point, men and women, you know, but it just seems like men are more a little bit more accepting of letting a woman blow off her steam. You know, like a man has no problem sitting down and hearing you say, babe, let me tell you what happened at work today. Or let me tell you what happened with my day. You're blowing off the steam. You kind of like, oh my God, this person got on my nerves. Didn't I look cute today? I like my outfit, but I didn't like my shoes. My hair looked nice, but my makeup was off. You know, like, and we'll sit there and be like, nah, babe, you still look good. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. You know, that's a beautiful thing when a woman can come home and talk to her man about her day. But why do you think women need to do that and most men don't? I don't even really know the real reason why. I want to have a real conversation about it. I'm just asking. I'm not asking because I already have an answer. I'm asking so we could discuss it and try to come up with. Why do you think women need to do that and have the desire? I don't want to say need. Why do you think women have the desire to do that, but most men don't? Because we both go through stress in our days.
Yeah, I think a woman feeds off of gossip, kind of like that kind of feeds her, at least for me, right? Not saying like I'm talking shit, but like if I could tell, oh shit, let me tell you, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's why girl talks and everything happen, and girlfriends stay on the phone forever or hang out because they're always talking about something that's going on. Whereas men, it's like, it's not really like that. You know what I mean?
Right. So do you think
it's like constant barbershop talk? Like, you know, at the barbershop, men talk about all kinds of things. Women do that in general already.
Right. Women every day with their girlfriends is barbershop talk. Where men is literally only doing it at the barbershop. All right, hold that thought. Let me bring Laura's comment up. Actually, you want to read that one?
The worst friend communication issue is pissing contest. This is my issue. They responded back trying to top your issue.
Right, so you're going back and forth seeing who can hit each other with the biggest.
Oh, yeah, no. At that point, I'm checked out. That conversation is not for me.
Joanna. What up, Joanna? Welcome to the stream. All right. What up, Joe? How you feeling tonight?
I love your Baddie.
You see? Oh, you got it? You got one? You can hit him?
No. I just said I love how
you were looking it up. I thought you were looking up. What up? Larissa is over here on the IG. Yo, I'm streaming live on YouTube right now. If you want to come join the community. We talking about communication between men and women. Who are better communicators? What are some of the biggest attributes of being a good communicator? All right, we talking about it all. All right. So I think that
talk to me.
I think that women have that desire to to blow that steam with their girlfriends, or if the girlfriend isn't available, they come home and blow that steam with their boyfriends and just let them know how their day went. I think that's because, like you said earlier, I think women have a desire to express themselves.
Yeah.
It's not so much about the communication or having a deep conversation.
No, it's just literally just pillow talking.
It's literally, I just want to express myself about what happened today and just blow off the steam. Or it don't always have to be bad. It could be good things too, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
But, and I don't think that that's a negative thing. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with it.
But I mean, if a man was doing it, then it'll be like...
Communication is awesome between kids, friends, and partners. All right. So, yeah, I think that the reason why men don't do that as much is because that type of talking about what happened throughout your day, there is no solution to it.
Do you think that? So for a solution,
I think men are more solution based. It's like, if you tell me a problem, I want to try to fix it, but I can't fix if somebody at your job gets on your nerves. There's nothing I could do about that.
Right.
You know, as a man, if I love you, and you telling me, Tovi, oh my God, this is stressing me out so much at work. I want to pull my hair out. I hate going to work every day. That's dampening my spirit because I love you and I want you to be happy. But you're telling me something, unless I just tell you to up and quit your job, which most time people don't have the liberty to do. There's nothing I can really do to fix that situation because it's something that you feel. And I can't just say, hey, Baddie, stop feeling that way. When you go to work tomorrow, you and that girl is going to get along like besties. I can't do that. I can't tell you that because it's up to you to fix that. It's up to you to determine how you're going to feel about her. And on the flip side, I'm only hearing one side of the story. I'm not hearing how you give her a little dirty look, or you wrote something a little slick in an email about her that only she would notice, but everybody else reading the email would have no idea. You know, so I'm only also hearing one side of the story. You know, so it's hard for me to get a real good understanding of, okay, why does she not like this girl? Why does this girl not like Baddie? I'm only hearing your side, and most likely I will never hear the other side. You know, because what I'm gonna do, come to work and try to play peacemaker? You know,
imagine.
Hold on, let me bring up Joanne's top. But the response that can happen that is given from, that is given from your person can help.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right. If the person, if your lady is coming home and she's blowing off steam, and you actually give her some type of solution, or if you give her some type of remedy, absolutely, 100%, it can help. But I've also heard a lot of women say, I'm not coming to you for you to fix it. I just want you to listen to me. So then it's a lot of times, even if a man tries to step in and say, well, babe, this is what you should do. I'm not asking you to tell me what I should do.
Right.
I just want you to listen.
Yeah.
Right. And I want women to understand that's really difficult for a man that loves you to just listen to you talk about something that's stressing you out or bringing you pain or bringing you whatever is bringing you, and just be like, oh, well, babe, tomorrow will be a better day. Anyway, what would you like to eat?
Yeah, and honestly, 9 out of 10 times that doesn't help. It's like, I don't want to hear that.
That doesn't help either, right?
Yeah.
So then, like, you kind of like, with that type of communication, it puts a man in like limbo. It kind of like puts him in purgatory of what he should or shouldn't say, or what he wants to do compared to what you want him to do. But before I go any further, we got somebody else knocking on the door. I don't have my sound effects, so I got to do it manually. There we go. We got Badgurl Sniper checking in. All right, let's bring Badgurl. Let's bring Badgurl to the stream. All right, what up, Badgurl?
Hi, Badgurl.
All right. We done brought Badgurl into the stream, and we having a great conversation tonight. We talking about communication.
Yes.
So let me ask you the same question I just asked Baddie. All right. Why do you feel that a lot of women feel when they get home from work or when they finish with their day, they find comfort in blowing off that steam to their man? but very rarely do you see a man come home from work and blow off steam to anyone.
I think women do it for maybe validation or advice. At least for me, that is why I would do it. Or sometimes it just feels good to talk about something. Because when you talk about something, you might discover what you're saying sounds ridiculous if you're in the wrong.
Right, hearing someone else's opinion on it.
Right. Or just hearing yourself say it out loud. Once you're out of the situation, home, and you might be able to see things more clearly.
Okay, that's true.
Good point. Yeah.
But I would tell him because I would want his advice.
Okay, so
how should I handle this?
Not...
Am I being irrational, or how should I handle this?
Right. So you're saying that in the past, or just from your point of view, when you are reaching out to your man or when you're conversing with your man about something, it's not just to blow off steam. It's actually to get his opinion and to get his input.
Right, because I would want to have a solution. I don't want to just complain about something and then it not be resolved.
Okay. Well, I mean, it would be a wonderful world if everyone was like that, in my opinion. Like, tell me what the problem is and let's work on it. But, obviously this is not a perfect world, and women are much more complex than that. I'm not an idiot. I understand that also. Women are more complex to just say, all right, so this is the problem. Let's just go fix it. It's not that simple, Jersey Devils in the building. What up, Jersey Devil? I don't got my sound effects tonight, but it's okay. I could do it myself, Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, all right? So tonight we are talking about...
Damn it, Lucy.
We're talking about communication, all right? So, Badgurl, another question. Far... Wait a minute. So for my B-Day, my question is... Wait a minute, hold on. Joanna, it's your... So for my baby. Oh, okay. So far, my baby, my question is, how's your day going? You saying, wait a minute. I'm kind of confused what you at. So for my baby, my question is, how's your day going? Oh, for your man. Okay, for your man.
Oh, okay. I was like...
Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm so confused. See, I don't see your man as your baby. So you got to say your man. You can't say for my baby. All right. Let me see. To be fair, I have been here the whole time. All right. Okay, so you just want him to vent. So you want your man to be able... So let me ask you this. And I'm going to ask Badgurl this question too.
Okay.
I already asked Baddie, and she gave me her opinion. And I'll ask you this too, Joanna. So would you feel comfortable with your man coming home and venting to you the way a woman vents?
Right. I want you to if you're in the wrong.
I hear myself in the background for somebody. I don't know who it is. I hear some playback. It's actually to get his...
Oh, sorry. My YouTube was on.
All right. Yeah, so Badgurl, would you... Joanna said, hell yeah, she would want her man to come home and blow off some steam. Though, like a woman does? I don't know about that. I don't know about that, girl. I hear myself in the background.
You do? Oh, my headset must be really loud. I'm sorry.
All right. What about you, Badgurl? Would you want your man to feel comfortable? I'm saying now, listen to what I'm saying. I'm asking a very specific question. Would you want your man to come home and express himself to you the way a woman expresses herself to a man?
If it can help him, then yes. I feel like if I have the right to do that and he'll be there for me in that moment, then yes, absolutely.
And you don't think that it would make you look at him in any different way? Where if he came home to you like, baby, let me tell you what happened today, and runs down that list the way women run down that list, that wouldn't make you look at him like, babe, you might need to man up a little bit. It wouldn't have any bearing on how you look at him.
I mean, it would depend on what he was talking about, but
he's talking about the same stuff that he's talking about what happened with him at the job today.
Right.
So I seen this guy, he had on some new sneakers, but the sneakers weren't the same as mine. Mine's look better. You know, he got a new haircut, but I think I'm gonna go get a new haircut tomorrow because I don't want him to outshine me. I'm talking about stuff like that. The type of things that women come home and talk about. It goes from, it's a whole plethora of things, but a lot of it is not. So it's a lot of the times I don't feel like it's solution based. It's just I'm blowing off steam. Like the same way women come home and talk to their man. If your man came home and talked to you the same way, wouldn't make you look at him no differently any kind of way?
If he were to say something like that, I would just tell him to get over it. If it was something like it's not a big deal. Don't make a big deal about something. You're being a little petty.
Yeah, but you're not acknowledging his feelings. No, bad girl, no. You can't just dismiss your man's feelings like that.
Yes, it's not dismissing, it's putting them in
check. You
like,
told him to get over it.
Who cares about their hair?
You told him to get over it.
That's what I would say to him.
That's dismissing. I'm telling you, as a man, that's disrespectful.
I would hope that that's what they would say to me too, because that's ridiculous. Who cares what their hair or their shoes look like?
Bad girl.
Worry about yourself.
Fellas, do not listen to this advice from Badgurl Sniper. If your lady come home and she want to blow off steam, do not tell her, just get over it and shut up and leave me alone. I don't care. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm saying if they're saying, I would just give them the advice. I would do it in a nice way, but I would say, I don't think it's that big of a deal what their hair looked like. Or I'd probably ask if they're serious.
Fellas, once again. Fellas. No matter what you do not follow Badgurl Snipers. If your girl come home and she tell you all this and you look at her and you like, are you serious? You're gonna have a long night ahead of you. And it ain't the type of long night you might have been looking for.
Well, what would you say?
I would shut up and listen. When my lady comes home and she's telling me how she's feeling, I'm going to be quiet and listen. I'm going to offer a little bit of, just a little tiny bit of, well, have you thought about doing this? Did you think about this?
That's probably what I would do too.
No, you just said you would tell your man to get over it and shut up.
No, that's not what I said. I didn't say shut up. I said I don't.
You don't care and get over it.
If he's talking about what somebody's wearing, if it's a serious thing, well then yes, I'll sit and listen to you. But that's, I mean, about what they're wearing or their hair, that's crazy.
For a third time, fellas. I ain't gonna repeat it, but don't tell your lady that she's crazy because
that's okay. I quit on this conversation.
For a third time, fellas. Don't tell your lady she's crazy because she's talking to you.
Crazy. For a woman, you have to tread a little differently because they're more emotional and
exactly,
and they're more logical. So I can't even imagine a guy coming home and saying stuff like that.
Right, that's the whole point I'm making. If a man came home and said stuff like that, it would probably make you look at him like, what the hell is going on with you? That's the point that I was saying from the beginning. Well, that was the question that I was asking from the beginning. Because the way men and women communicate are so different.
Right.
That if a man all of a sudden started communicating like a woman, I think to most women it would be like, something ain't right here. You know, what's going on? Like, you know, the way you talking to me and the way you're communicating is very, very odd. All right. Jersey says she would be cool with it because she's nosy. All right. Joanna said, let me see. She said it wouldn't be alarming to her at all if her man came home and spoke to her the same way a woman speaks to a man. Jersey says she would want all the tea, so she don't care. She trying to find out what's happened at the job today, you know. Mm-hmm. Ashley Larry said, give the occasional head nod and yes, love, and keep it going about the day. We got she's too shy, hush, hush, I do I. What up, Shy is in the building. Welcome to the stream. All right. So the same question to you, Badgurl, that I asked Baddie. Who do you think communicates better, men or women? Who are better communicators?
I feel like men and women are so different. It's hard to say who communicates altogether better, because I feel like in certain situations, men communicate better. Like if it's a more logical or decision-based situation.
Okay.
But when it comes to like emotional or expressing their feelings, I think women are better communicators.
Okay. So
most of the time, unless you have those women who are usually very young and they just expect men to be mind readers, and if they're not, then they're terrible men.
Okay.
That's the occasional woman, but I don't think one's better than the other altogether.
All right. So if you're saying that a man's communication is usually rooted and based in logic, and a woman's communication is based on her feelings, out of logic and feelings, which one is closer to the truth? Logic or feeling? Right. So wouldn't the person who's expressing themselves logically be communicating better? Because their communication to you is closer and based in truth, where the other person is communicating in feelings.
Right.
And it's hard to put a definition on feelings.
That's what I'm saying. With logic situations, men are the better communicators, but they are not usually better communicators when it comes to expressing how you feel, because usually most men don't like confrontation, so they'll just either accept what their lady is saying and be like, oh, okay, or they just let it go because they don't want to deal with it, instead of saying, oh, I feel this way. Or they'll, if they're raised a certain way, which a lot of guys are, to suppress their feelings because they have to be strong and toughen up. So a lot of times they don't even really know how to, because they don't think that they're allowed.
I agree with you on most fronts, but I don't believe that men let it go. I think they don't address it.
Okay, that's a good way to say it. Yes,
it's still with them, because when they finally hit their boiling point, they got a fully loaded clip to hit you with, and they're gonna go back and bring up all of those things, and that's a terrible thing to do.
Right.
I want to give anybody who's listening to this, and I've definitely done this myself. When you're in an argument with someone, shout out to my man, The Dark Truth. All right, the truth will always come to the light, but we also need to learn the dark truth. I want to say to everyone, when you are in a disagreement, a dispute, an argument, a debate with someone, until you fix the problem that is on the table, don't start bringing up stuff from a year, 2 years, 3 months, 4 years, whatever, how far you got to go back. Do not bring up the problems from last week, the week before that, last year. That's not going to do you any good, because nothing is going to get solved that way. Solve one problem at a time. End the conversation with either let's agree to disagree or this is the solution.
Yes.
But don't say, well, I know you're not talking because you did this. Yeah, but we're not talking about what I did. We're talking about what you did today. Yeah, but last week you did this. Okay, so why didn't you address it with me last week?
I agree.
Because it wasn't important.
Yeah.
So why is it important? Right. So why is it important now?
You can't use it as ammo because now you're mad. If it wasn't important when it was happening enough to address it, then that's it. You don't get to use it as like ammunition because now you're mad. So, I can use this now. That's calculating, I feel.
Right. So, hey, Baddie, why do you think people do that?
Because
men and women both do it. I've done it.
Do what? Like use it?
Yeah,
they hold on to those old arguments and all the things that you didn't really resolve, and then when a new disagreement comes up, you reach in your back pocket.
It happens when the person that's getting addressed is wrong, and then they throw it back like, "Well, you did," and they're essentially deflecting. They don't want to deal with how they're wrong.
It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with how they messed up. They want to bring down you for how you messed up a month ago or yesterday, and
right.
You did this to me, so, and it's like, well, we're not talking about that. But I do want to ask, what if it's a continuation? What if it's a continued behavior? Are you allowed to bring back the past that you've already solved if it's continuation?
Yes.
Yeah, you can definitely bring it back up. You always have the right to bring up something from the past if it's still continuing and if it's still bothering you.
Right, if it's
The
still
only
relevant.
thing I'm saying is don't bring it up until you resolve the first issue that you started off initially talking about. If we started off initially talking about why I was late to dinner, I was supposed to be there at 7 and I didn't get there to 7:30, and we start having this discussion at 8 o'clock, we shouldn't be talking about, well, why you was on Instagram 3 weeks ago liking some girl picture. How do we get from me being late for dinner to me liking the picture on Instagram? So that means you've been holding on to that, waiting for the right time to go upside my dome piece with it.
That's petty.
Right?
That's calculated.
Yes, it's calculated. And it's also manipulative.
Yes.
You know? And I agree with Badgurl. Why do you think people do that?
Why do I think people keep
hold on to old arguments and then bring them up in a new one?
Because from my experience, when I've been talking with somebody and they bring up past things, it's because they've been proven wrong or they know they were in the wrong, but they have nothing on me except for what I did in the past. So they'll re-bring it up to try and divert what was actually being talked about because they don't want to accept what they did. They don't want to admit or acknowledge or take accountability for the words that they just said to me. So instead, they're going to divert it back and say, I deserved this. I had the right to talk to you like this because you did this to me. Like, that's extremely manipulative.
I agree with you, and you hit the nail on the head when you said accountability. I think people do that so they can avoid accountability. That's at the root of it. At the root of it, I think that's what it is. I think they're doing it so they can avoid accountability, and now they can, and also they can maintain their image.
Well, and they can direct your attention to something else. So now you're upset about something else, and now you have to talk about the fact that they brought up the past.
Right.
So it's a great diversion.
Let's bring up Ashley Larry's comment because it's bringing up old-ish. That should have been addressed at that moment, like you said. Loading up that clip and releasing it when they feel necessary. Absolutely. All right. So I want hey Baddie, I want you to give me a situation where what is the best way for a person to communicate to you? How do you like to be communicated to? You know, do you like it straight up? Tell me the 100% truth. Do you want it sugar-coated? Do you want someone to massage it in? Or do you want somebody to slap the hell out of you with it? How do you want your truth? Because, and I ask this question because I hear a lot of people say, I want you to be 100% honest with me. And then that 100% honesty always backfires. So I want to have that discussion now. How do you want your truth?
So I'm sensitive, right? No matter how tough and, you know, everything I say I am, or I'm to the core, I'm sensitive, right? So it depends coming from who, right? Like if it's like in a work environment, tell me how it is. You know, I can only get better. Tell me how it is, right?
And
but
you don't think it would touch your sensitivity
I
at
mean,
all?
with respect. Don't give me both respect.
Right, respectfully, because at work it should always be respectfully.
Yeah, so it's like if I'm doing something, tell me. There's no hey, this is what's like. No, just tell me. Okay. But when it comes to my relationship, there's more emotions involved, and I'm more likely to get more heightened because, you know, again, emotions are just involved. So like, if Carrie want to tell me something, I want it. Tell me.
You want it straight up?
No. You're being real. No. The thing is, I don't want you to lie.
You want to sugarcoat it.
I don't want you to lie, but I kind of want you to like just tell
caress
me in a softer way. You know, this is what's going on. Then I'm more likely to receive what you're saying, right? Because if you're coming at me and it's like, oh, this is what you did, da, 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 automatically I'm defensive. Naturally. Right? Because I'm like, what you mean? Da, 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 you know, and it's like, then it turns into something that doesn't have to. But it definitely depends on who it's coming from. My sisters, they give it to me straight up. You know, I receive it, but like I said, it just depends on where it's coming from.
Okay, what about you, Badgurl? How do you like your truth? You want it black, or do you want it with cream and sugar?
I'm also very sensitive. My heart is very tender, I feel. And it's very important to me. Like, if I know I've disappointed somebody or let somebody down, it makes me really sad. Like, I because I don't want to disappoint people that I love or that count on me. So I'll get really emotional about it. I want people to be honest with me. And sometimes if, say, I'm having like an attitude, then yes, I might need a more abrupt, hard truth. But I think depending on the situation is how you should go about expressing the truth. You can do it in a gentle way, and you can also do it in, look, this is it. This is what has to happen. Or you need to stop acting like this, or whatever, depending on the situation is how I would want to be addressed. But I would always want someone to tell me the truth. Even if the truth hurts, sugarcoating it can, in the end, hurt worse.
So you saying in any relationship, you would rather it straight up?
Yes.
Even if it hurts?
It just, yes, as long as you approach it so that I'll be receptive to it.
Okay. I can respect both of your points of views. And see, I love talking to everyone, but I really enjoy talking to women because women are so different. Each woman is so different than the other that it's like women are like the gift that keeps giving. It's like a gift that keeps giving. Like, you can always learn something different and learn something new when you actually sit down and communicate and talk to a woman. Now, my next question is, well, actually, let me answer my own question before I move on to the next question, because I feel like, me personally, I am really good at separating my heart and my mind. So even if someone says something to me harshly, I may not like how you said it, but if there was some truth in what you said, I'll be able to take and extract that truth from it and still learn and prosper from what you told me. Then I may address the way you spoke to me, but it would not take away the information that you gave me if what you told me was beneficial to me. Would I want you to be like, you know, Tovi, you're an effing loser and you could do so much more and so much better? No, I wouldn't want that. But I would still be like, I can understand where they're coming from, though. I could do better. So let me try. But don't talk to me like that. But I would not throw away the information. Like, I know there's an old saying, like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's something that my aunt used to say. Please don't cancel me. That's an old saying, y'all. I'm not talking about harming no kids. But, you know, it's kind of like, don't throw out the information that you're getting just because you didn't like how it was presented to you. If what they said was the truth, and if what they said could be beneficial to you. So for me personally, I would much rather for you to say, look, Tovi, this is what it is, and this is how it is. You know, of course I would want it respectfully, but even if it got a little testy, I would still be like, okay, we need to calm down, but I do understand your point of view. Because I'm very level. And as a man, I very rarely get emotional. So I'm able to level myself out and extract the information that I need. But if the person was to continue to speak to me that way, then I might have to say, you know what? I know that you want what's best for me, but I don't think you're the best person to relay the information to me. because I've already expressed to you I don't like how you're speaking to me, and you keep doing it anyway. Well, I'm just telling you the truth, Toby. I understand, and I appreciate you telling me the truth. But as a man, I am also sensitive in my own ways. So you're not, and I also demand respect, because I demand respect because I'm always giving you respect. And if you're not going to respect me in return, then I don't want your information or your good advice. Let me just fail on my own. All right. So that's how, me personally, I would rather I want it straight, no chaser. Just tell me what it is. Even if it's a little harsh, I think I could still handle it. Although I am sensitive, but I will be able to take the truth out of it. So now my next question, and this is a great question, because I don't really know how y'all are going to answer this question. Because I don't even know if y'all could even fathom the answer to this question. But that's why I want to ask it. I'm going to go with Badgurl first.
Okay.
What do you think is the difference between the way men communicate and express themselves to other men compared to how they express themselves to women? What are the type of conversations you feel like men can have with each other? You know damn well they better not try to have with their woman or women in general.
Oh, they talk crap to each other.
Give me an example, or tell me, like, give me your point of view of what you think it is.
So when I've listened to like my brother, for instance, talk to other guys online, like his friends, when we've been playing together, they're always insulting each other and talking crap on each other, or having a bromance.
What do you mean by bromance?
How do I say
wait a
this?
minute, for your brother's sake, you need to explain this.
My brother is married to a beautiful woman.
Exactly. Let's start off with that. All right.
I feel that guys, they can joke around with each other more harshly and make fun of the way they look, or if they have some kind of flaw, they can do that with each other. And as long as they're like friends, they're not gonna, they're gonna just have something to say back. But if you say stuff like that to a woman, yeah, that's not gonna end well, because most women, every woman that I know anyways, is very critical of herself already. So the last thing she needs is someone pointing out the things that she's already aware of, as far as if it's like a physical feature that's flawed or whatever.
Right.
And I don't think that women take jokes the same way that men do.
Absolutely
because they're more feminine and soft, and guys can, talk harsh to each other.
I also think that women are more self-aware and concerned with their image.
Yes.
But go ahead. I just wanted to add that.
No, yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Women are more concerned about how they look and appear.
Right.
Men don't usually care very much.
Right. And one of the most appealing things about a woman is a woman that's able to let her hair down and laugh about herself and laugh at herself.
Right.
That's exactly, for me personally, that's why I call myself Little Fat Mushy Tove. Because I want everyone to feel comfortable. I'm making fun in my title that I call myself every day. I'm calling myself stuff that would be looked at as an insult. And I'm calling myself that. Just to let you know that I'm not taking myself too serious, and it's all in fun. And if I can make fun of myself, I don't have a problem with you making fun of me. And I might make a little bit of fun of you back in return, but just understand that I'm not trying to insult you.
Right.
It's to keep everything lighthearted. And I do understand being goofy and feminine, kind of hard to do. You want to be cute and sexy, but also try to pull off being goofy and lighthearted. It's a hard mixture, but there's a time and place for everything. And when it's time to laugh and joke, I think that will actually, the way, if a man can joke around with a woman the way he jokes around with his guy friends, it'll endear her to him in a different way, where he won't feel like he's walking on eggshells and having to Badgurl says she'll be right back. And having to having to be so cautious of what he says to her or says around her, you know. But I think that I agree with what Badgurl said, that guys are definitely can, excuse my language, shoot the shit or yank each other's chain and have a good time, and just, you know, it's not, we all know we just playing around. It's not, I'm not really trying to insult you, you know, like the way me and Hev play around with each other and insult each other. Hev talk about me and insult me and make jokes about me all the time, but I know that he's not truly trying to insult me. He's just shooting, you know, we just playing around. It's actually a term of endearment when you're able to play around like that. It shows how comfortable you are with one another, that you know he just joking, he ain't, you know. It's like a way to show that you admire someone, you know. So what about you, Baddie? What do you think are the different ways men communicate with other men compared to how men communicate with a woman or women?
Now, question, is it their women or is it women in general?
I want to say women in general first, and then you can answer it more specifically if you like. But let's start in general first.
Well, I feel like you guys hit it on the nail as far as joking around. Like, men, their jokes are typically a little bit more rowdy and a lot more inappropriate with each other compared to them saying that to a female. That's a case. You know what I mean? Right. Automatically. So, and I think women are more, they take things more literal when it is something of that high of a caliber. Like, a guy could be like, shut up, you're gay, you know? But if a guy tells a female, shut up this, she'll be like, oh,
right,
how dare you? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think men amongst other men, it's just easier. Like you said, term of endearment. Like, I hear Carrie calling his friends like, shut up, you're gay, I'll take this brick and hit you across the head. Like, it just outlandish shit that I'm like, okay, that's
right.
That's how your guys' friendship is. But I mean, that's just, they're basically saying, hey man, how you doing? I missed you. But they're not saying those words exactly. They're just literally talking shit to each other in that manner.
Right. So from looking at that, the way men communicate with each other from as a woman and looking from the outside in, do you think that the way men communicate with each other is healthy for that man or for men in general? And why do you feel like they're able to communicate with their friends so differently than they can with their with women or their woman? Like, why do you feel like men can't find that comfort to joke around with a woman like that? Should the woman initiate and kind of like try to pull that out? Because when you see him doing it with someone else, you know it's within him,
mm-hmm.
but he doesn't do it with you. Do you think as his woman you should try to pursue it, like, babe, come on, like kind of joke around with him in that way, or should you let him live that separate life with his friends? I think
that there's a clear separation, and I think it's a healthy separation. You know what I mean? Like, you can have that guy time with your guys and talk shit and do whatever you say, but like with me, you're a different person, and I kind of like the separation. Like, I see how you are with your friends. If you were like that with me, I would be like, oh, I would be cool. And then, like, I feel like there'll be a line that's crossed that you don't even know is crossed, because,
right,
you know, it's like, how can you judge that? And then at that point, I'll be like, that was rude. And it's like, wait, I was joking with you. And I'll be like, no, that was rude. And it just, you know,
right, it can just
become more emotional.
It falls in too much of a gray area.
Yeah.
Okay. So now on the flip side of that, why do you think women can't communicate with each other like that?
Like what?
Because I know women don't communicate with each other like that. Y'all will be at each other's throats if y'all start joking around with each other.
No.
Girl, your feet look big in them shoes.
Mm-mm.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, literally.
I know you're not talking.
Right. No.
Why do you think women have such a hard time communicating in that way then? And do you think women communicate with each other better? Like, what are the biggest differences between the way you see men communicate with each other and you see women
constantly compliment each other? Literally,
right.
Constantly
compliment. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think that women need that affirmation that, oh, you look good. You know, she's like, oh, I look good. You know what I mean? Like
So you think it's good to all right, so if you feel like communication is important
Mhm.
and being honest is a key component to great communication,
Mhm.
what if you don't feel like your friend looks great? Should you still tell her she looks great?
No, I'll
That's
be like, let's try
lying.
something else. I'll
Isn't
be like,
that corrupting the communication?
no. I'll be like, let's try something else. Or, ooh, try this on. Or, ooh, how about this? Like, there's different ways to do it. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be like, girl, you need to take that off. You know, you've been skipping the gym a couple weeks. Like, it's showing. I'm not gonna say that. I'll be like, oh, this might look better. Or, oh, girl, you're showing your boobs too much. You know what I mean? Like, I'll make an excuse to kind of like, she'll be like, yeah, really? Okay. You know? But I'm not
Right.
gonna flat out be like, no, girl, that doesn't look good on you. There's no chance in hell.
So do you do that because you feel like your friendship is not strong enough to take the cold hard truth?
It's not about cold hard truth. It's just that
Yeah,
I'm just
because
being
you
insensitive at that point.
so you feel like the truth can be insensitive?
If I'm the way I'm saying it, I'm telling her that she doesn't look good without saying she doesn't look good in that.
Right. So
The
if
message she's
if
still
your
gonna
female
say
friend
it.
say, "How does this dress look on me?" and you look at it, you like it don't look good at all.
I'll
You
be like, I
feel
don't
like
like it.
you can't say it doesn't look good at all.
No, I would say I don't like it.
But can you say it doesn't look good at all? Even if that's how you truly feel. You can't?
I
And
wouldn't.
you don't think it's something wrong with that if you can't say that to your friend?
No, I wouldn't. That's rude.
So you think the truth can be rude?
Yes.
Or is the truth the truth?
The truth is the truth, but I cannot tell my friend that she does not look good at all. There's no chance in hell. I will make it to a point where she doesn't wear that and that she doesn't look like a fool in public. Like, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, you look good, and then just have her looking like Oompa Loompa or something. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, girl, like, I'm not a fan. I don't like it. You know?
I want you to read this. Ashley Larry makes a great point.
Okay. I think that's the one of differences between masculinity, I can't say that word, and femininity.
Masculinity.
Men compliment their homies with insult. Women compliment those girls with affirmation. Yeah.
I agree with Ashley 100%. Men do compliment each other with insults, and women compliment each other with affirmations. But I feel like there's a dangerous side to lending affirmation at all times. And the flip side to that, and the dangerous side, is going to be really difficult to ever hold that person accountable when it's time to, because they're used to you always feeding them ice cream. You know, they're used to you always feeding them sweets. It tastes good.
Yeah,
but now sometimes the truth don't always taste that good, but the truth is a vital part of communicating with one another.
There's other ways of getting that truth out without saying it as black and white as men do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. But saying it black and white shouldn't be a bad thing.
I wouldn't do it though. It's not in me. I can't be mean, especially about appearance.
Is the truth not mean though, hey Baddie? The truth isn't mean.
No, but if it's about appearance, now if it's about something that like isn't about appearance, then sure, I can be like, girl, I don't like that. That doesn't sound good, whatever. But like if she's like writing a post on Instagram or something, right? And then she sends me a screenshot, like, what do you think of this post? Should I write this with this caption? And I'll be like, if I don't like it, I'll be like, girl, hell no, you sound da-da-da-da. Do this instead, or talk about this instead. I can do that. Now, if a girl, literally, if we're going out, right? We're going out, she goes and gets dressed, and the dress that she wore or the shoes that she wore, I don't like. I'm not gonna be like, girl, they don't look good. I'll just be like, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. And to me, that should be like, you know, okay, I'll change it. And at that point, good. Yes, change it. Should I change it? Yeah.
Do you think that when you say that doesn't look good, I think you should change it? Do you think that if you said that to your friend, do you think she would take any type of offense to it?
If I said change it?
Yeah, like change it, because you're still telling her it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So do you think that she would be offended in any kind of way?
Because I'm not saying it I'm not saying it in a very direct way. I'm just saying I'm not a fan. Now, if she's like, girl, I like it, I'll be like, girl, if you like it, I love it, but I'm not a fan. I think this will be better.
Okay. So if women say things in a very indirect way, and you say men are very direct with one another,
Mhm.
Who are better communicators?
Back to the original question I see. You literally went like this, like we gonna go back to this. Men. In that way, men. Because I'll flat out tell you all day.
I'm just playing with you, Baddie.
No,
I'm just playing with you.
I'll tell you all day long. There's no chance in hell I can tell any female that she does not look good at anything. There's just no chance. I said there's no chance that I will ever tell a female that she does not look good at anything. Now, if she's clearly bumming it out, then I'll be like, girl, what the hell are you doing? Change that shit. But if she actually tried and she like is looking at me like, what do you think? And I'm just like,
what do you think? She already knows. If a woman look at you like, what do you think? She already know it don't look good. Girl, you know what I think. Girl, you already know what I think. Don't ask me. Don't do this to me.
Yeah. You know, like I there's a way to go around it without saying those harsh words. But guys, all day long, it's crazy to me. It's crazy.
You know what? Ultimately, let me put all jokes aside. I think the reason why men can be so much more honest with each other because I believe men are more honest with themselves. If you ask a man, rate yourself from 1 to 10, I don't think any man would say 10.
You don't think so?
I don't think too many men are going to say 10. Because 10 is perfect.
That is true. They probably won't say 9.5 though.
They might say not, but I don't think, but I've seen time and time again where it's like, well, and I don't even like the whole rate yourself thing, but you know, it seems to be big in a lot of circles. And a lot of times I think just out of image and just out of being self-conscious or just making sure that, you know, reaffirming themselves, a lot of people will be like, well, a lot of women will be like, well, I'm a 10 because that's how I feel about myself. Where men can be a little bit more rooted in reality, like, I'm 40, like for me personally, I'm 46 years old. I'm not that tall. I'm not this. Ain't no way in the hell I could be a 10. Like, because I know what women think 10s are, and I don't have a lot of the things that women think 10s are. Now, does that make me unattractive? No. Does that make me undesirable? Hell no. But does that make me Michael B. Jordan? Hell no also. Because I'm not that. And I know a lot of women, Michael B. Jordan is the other guy that plays with him in Michael and Creed. The other, he's in really great shape, you know, he's the new guy, even though last night he allegedly got in a little bit of trouble. But we ain't gonna talk about
saw that.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that though. We ain't here to tear that black man down.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, a lot of women will look at him and be like, oh my God, look at him. And then if I'm looking at myself and I'm looking at him, I'm like, nah, ain't no way in the world I could call myself a 10. Because the women around me has let me know that I'm not a 10. I'm not. But that's because I'm looking at it logically and in reality, no, I'm not. Where I feel like a woman will be like, well, I feel like I'm a 10. Which is nothing wrong with saying that you feel like a 10. But, you know, a 10 is perfect. Come on. A 10 is perfect. A 9.5 is like damn near like you. Yeah, it's like, okay, one of your eyebrows is crooked, but everything else about you is perfect. You know, it's like I think that's why men can be more honest with each other because we're more honest with ourselves, you know. And I think that's also why women feed that affirmation to one another, because you're trying to make sure that you're trying to keep each other up as women in the sisterhood. And there's nothing wrong with that within the sisterhood, but it also leads to a lot of people, women and a lot of people in general, not being able to hold each other accountable. Because if someone said, girl, I'm a 10, and you like, that's right, girl, you are a 10. Is she though? Like, is she a 10? You know, if somebody said, Tove, you a 10, I'll be like, no, hell, I'm not. Don't put that on me. Hell no, I ain't no damn 10. Don't even say that about me. I'd rather you say I'm a 4. I would much rather that. I would much rather I would call, if I had to rate myself, I'd say at 46 years old, I would say I'm a 5 or a 6 tops. And that's on my best day. Now, if someone else sees me as more than that, God bless them. But that's how I see myself. because I want to be real with myself. And it makes it easier for people to be real with me as long as I'm real with myself. That's what I'm saying, you know?
Right.
So do you have a
whole rating thing is crazy. That whole rating thing is crazy though. Because you realize that women, their beauty is honestly like what they offer, right? I think I was talking to you about this, where it's like men, when women look at men, they're like future, you know? And then a guy looks at a female and he's like beauty, you know, like arm piece or whatever. So.
Right, trophy.
Exactly, that's the word. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think it's insulting to ask a woman to rate herself. I think it's insulting, but it does give you a good idea of how she looks at herself. So if you're willing to take that risk, that's on you. Me, I've never asked a woman in my life, rate yourself from it doesn't make a difference to me. That doesn't sizzle in my spirit at all. But I do understand where it benefits if you're trying to figure out certain information of how someone looks at themselves or how they view themselves or how they view the world around them, you know? Because let's say, I'm not saying Beyonce is a 10, but let's just say let's say she is a 10. Let's say young Beyonce, when she was at her peak, crazy in love. Beyonce, when she was peak Beyonce. Okay, let's say she was a 10. All right. So there's no way that you could say Beyonce's a 10 and Lizzo's a 10. So if a woman that looks like Lizzo says, well, I'm a 10 too, I'm not saying in her mind she can't be a 10. But if you're looking at reality, it would be like, I mean,
what are the qualifications of being a 10?
Yeah, like, okay, so then what are the qualifications for 10 then? Because now it's getting a little skewed.
Right.
That's why I don't care about that. I like to stay away from it because it triggers too many emotions in people, you know,
especially in women.
And it's kind of like you're asking a woman to insult themselves, and that's stupid. Fellas, don't ask no woman to insult themselves to validate anything that you're trying to figure out. You know, be man enough to talk to her, get to know her, and find out her strong points and her shortcomings on your own. But don't try to ask her to insult herself up front on the first date. So what would you rate yourself? What do you bring to the table? No, if you really care about that woman and you really are interested in that woman, spend time with her and you'll realize what she will bring. It's not about what she brings to the table. It's about what she's willing to bring to your table. She might bring something to somebody else's table and bring something to your table that she never brought to anybody else's table. You got to make her be able to get into that kitchen and cook up that meal to bring to your table. You got to give her the inspiration. Be like, you know what? Let me get in here and I might always cook spaghetti. But you know what? This man is treating me so good and he's bringing out a different side of me. You know what? I think I'm going to go in here and try to make oxtails with some peas and rice. I never made that before. And let me see how good I can make that for him. Now she's bringing something new to your table that she never brought to no other man's table. So that's why it doesn't make any sense to ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? Because she can bring something different to each man's table depending on how what that man brings out of her. So saying, what do you bring to the table up front to a woman, I feel is a little insulting. Once again, I do believe that it can give you a lot of information, but I don't think that that's the right foot that you need to start off with a woman that you're trying to get to know intimately.
It's not a job interview.
It's not a job interview. Yeah. So now don't get me wrong. Like I said, if you ask a woman that question and the way she answers it, it could tell you a lot of things that you may need to know. I'm not saying that it won't. But I also feel as a man, it's an inappropriate question because every woman can bring something different to every man's table. It's just about what do you motivate her to bring to your table, not bring to the table. You want her to bring something special to your table. The hell with all the other tables. Let me bring something to your table and you bring something to my table. Now I want you to sit down and eat what I made for you. And I'm going to sit down and eat what you made for me. And let's see how good it is. Or let's see where we need to improve on our recipes. Babe is good. Everything is tender, but you need to add a little bit more salt. And you might say, well, Tovi, mine is good, but I like my food a little spicy. So could you add a little bit of pepper, a little bit of, a little bit of Cajun spice or whatever it is. I like mine a little hot. Okay, babe. All right. So now I'm going to come back and bring something. I'm going to enhance what I brought to the table because now I got an understanding of what you want. But if a woman doesn't know you, what the hell does she don't know what she's going to bring to your table. Because she don't know you. That's like walking into a restaurant and not looking at the menu and sitting down and like, look, I know this meal is going to be good. No, you don't. You don't. Because you don't know what they serve. Mm-hmm. You might want steak and you could be sitting down in a vegan restaurant. So you're not going to get what you want off that menu. But that's your fault for coming in and sitting down without reading the menu first. It's your fault for asking what the woman's going to bring to the table without reading what's on her menu first. You got to get to know her first and then let her bring what she's prepared in the kitchen to bring to your table. And that's how I see it. The whole, what do you bring to the table? Yes. And I know that sparks a lot of controversy, but it doesn't for me. It doesn't for me because I just want to see what you're going to bring to my table. And you don't have to bring the whole 4-course meal either. Even if you just bring me a little bit of dessert, I'll be happy. Bring me a little piece of cake, a little whipped cream and a little ice cream on the side. I'm good. I'll make everything else. But just bring, you just bring something though.
I actually got asked that question and like
you did? Did it insult you?
Huh?
How did you respond to that?
I honestly didn't have an answer. Because it was like, I didn't know, first of all, I didn't know what they were looking for, right? If I'm sitting here and you're looking for stability and comfort, and I sit here and I tell you, oh, I can offer, financial support, you know what I mean? Like things that don't fit with you, like then I'm not really offering you anything. So it's like, I really didn't know what answer they were looking for, but I had no idea how to answer the question. Because it's like, I can't answer it. I just have to show it to you. You know what I mean? Right. I can't sit here and be like, well, I'm really good at communicating. I'm really good at listening. Like, no, it's like it's not like I said, it's not a job interview. But that relationship obviously didn't work out because did the question itself rub you the wrong way? Did you feel like it was an appropriate question? I did because he already had in his mind, right, that women are... they're like they use they use the there's like a trend going on when women were like talking crap about men and shit like that, where it's like, I don't need no man, and
that ain't no trend. Well, and it's still going on. It hasn't subsided yet.
You know how like women, they generally say like I don't need no man and I don't need da-da-da. He was very dead set on that. Like, and it was like he was bringing that into something that we were trying to start and build. And I flat out told him, I was like, listen, to be honest, it's you, it's not me. You've brought me down and you've put me in a box that I don't even belong. You know what I mean? Right. So you've already had this image of me where you're like, well, I need women to do this and women to do, and I'm just like, I'm good. And he's like, what do you bring to the table? And I was like, what you mean?
Exactly. But, so the question did kind of like leave a bad taste in your mouth.
100%.
Right. So the same way, what do you bring to the table leaves a bad taste in your mouth. That's the same way, I don't need no man leaves a bad taste in men's mouth.
But that's not true. I mean, unfortunately, there are women out here.
One another.
No, yeah, women are out here that really do think that, right? It's very
it's a lot of women that really think that way, Baddie. So, they really feel like, I don't need no damn man. I'm fine by myself. But in actuality, we do need one another.
Yeah. So right now, I have a friend, right? He is divorced now, and he had a baby with his wife, right? Okay. Like about 2 months ago. And the wife isn't letting him see the girl, his daughter, because like they're no longer together and they had like a break. It was messy. So now she's keeping the daughter away, right? And he's flat out like, you know, they're siding with her because like she's the mother. And I was like, no, F that. Like, there's certain things that a mother can bring to the table, right? But there's also things that the mother can bring that the mother cannot bring that the father can. You know,
Right.
protection, stability, you know,
Masculinity.
discipline. You know what I mean? Like all these different things that men really just are better at than women. You can't teach that to, like, that's why they need both parents. You know what I mean? So I was talking to him and I'm like, yo, like, it's because he's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, it's not your fault. It just shows how she is as a person and how she's using your child as a pawn, unfortunately. And just keep fighting because that child is going to remember that her father fought for her, at least.
Right. So do you feel comfortable communicating to your man, or in the past a man, how you do need him? Yeah. Like what do you need? Why do you need a man?
Well, a family, number one.
Exactly. You can't have a family without a man.
Yeah.
You got to have some part of some man somewhere to have a family. That's it. You just hit the nail on the head. That is why we need one another, because we cannot procreate without one another. So that's why men need women and women need men. We do need one another because you cannot procreate with anyone else. Now, everything else beyond that could fall under the title of wants. But love intensifies things so much that even to a certain extent, I feel, and I know that everyone doesn't feel this way, but I feel like as men and women, or as human beings, I feel like we do need companionship. Even though you could live your complete life in solitude, I feel like if you did that, you would be missing something that you actually need in your life. So although you can survive without anyone else, you can be born and you can lock yourself in a room and stay in that room or stay in that house and never come out and never interact with anyone. But I feel like innately you will be missing out on something that you need. It's not a want. I believe that you're missing out on something that you need if you never interact with another person, and as a man or a woman, you never interact with the opposite sex.
I agree.
You know, so where some people may feel like companionship is not a need, it's a want. But I feel like I don't want to say it's the truth because I know it's not the truth, but I believe and I feel that companionship is a need.
I mean, look at when people are together for like 40, 60 years, right? And then one of them dies, right? And then shortly after, the other one dies because
that
of heartbreak.
That happened with my grandmother. You know, that definitely happened when my grandmother passed away. My uncle Carl. He passed away maybe like 3 months afterwards. And they had been together for so many years. You know, they were sick. They were sickly. But they were still living together, getting around together, you know, figuring it out together. You know, and I think that until you have experienced that, I think people that say they don't need it haven't truly experienced it.
That's fair.
That's what I think it is. I think anyone that says, I don't need no man, hasn't truly experienced what real love is really about. Because ain't no way in the world I would ever sit here and say, I don't need no woman. No. For me to be as happy as I really want to be, yeah, I need a woman. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Now, literally, do I need a woman? No, I don't need her to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need her to breathe. But to live a happy life, yeah, I do need a woman. Absolutely. Without interacting with women, if I just said from this point going forward for the rest of my life, I'm never interacting with another woman, I would live a miserable life. I would. And I think that when I hear a woman say, I don't need no man, okay, we get it. You got your own car, you got your own money, you can pay your own bills, and that's wonderful. God bless you. And I wish you all the power, wealth, and health. But how are you ever going to find a man? How are you ever going to find a good man when you're communicating to all the men that you know, or any woman that will listen? I don't need no man. So then why would I ever approach you?
Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Do you think a man, like in a relationship with a man and a woman, that the man wants to be needed?
Of course, because we want to be the provider. So when you say I don't need you, you're actually attacking the core. You're attacking what a man, you're attacking what that man wants to present and give to you at its core.
Right.
The same way being nurturing is at a woman's core, being a provider is at a man's core. So if you say I don't need you for nothing, then you're actually attacking his strength. His biggest asset is being able to provide something for you that you need, whether it's love, children, protection, stability, emotional release, where you can have someone to, like we were talking about earlier, blow off steam to. He wants to provide something to you that he feels like you need. So if you're like, I don't need no man, then how are you ever going to find a good man? Because you telling every man that you come across, I don't need you. So then why would I why would I spend my time trying to get to know you if at the end of the day I'm just disposable?
Yeah. That's essentially
you telling me up front I'm disposable. So I'm supposed to marry you? Would you marry a man that's like, yo, woman can't do nothing for me but get in this bed and bust it wide open? That's all women could do for me. Would you find that man attractive even if he was the most handsome man in the world? You'd be like, that's all you see women as? Yes. You wouldn't want to be with a man like that because he's telling you up front he's never going to respect you as an individual. He's going to respect you in one way. When we turn off these lights and close these doors, oh yeah, you get all my respect. You're going to get all of me in this bedroom. But outside of this bedroom, I could care less what happens.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I'll holler.
And that's the thing.
Tomorrow night.
A lot of women are losing a lot of good men because I'm so glad that men are seeing their worth, to be honest. Because, like, let's just say two people meet for the first time and her attitude is like, I don't need no man. I got this. I do my own thing. I'm this, I'm that, right? The man at that point automatically, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a guy, but a man at that point is going to be like, all right, I'm not going to take this serious at all. If I get some, I get some. Hey, let's go. But it's on to the next, mentally. Right.
He might stick around. You're right. He might stick around, but he's sticking around to get some now. Because once he gets some, now he feels, it doesn't mean that he does, but now he feels he has leverage. Because at the end of the day, if you allow me to sleep with you, me and you become intimate. Now, if you walk away, I feel like, well, I succeeded.
Got what I wanted, yeah.
I got what I wanted. I stuck around, and eventually I got what I wanted. So now, if you want to act stupid and you want to be sassy and talk out your side of your mouth and act crazy, all right, you can leave now. Because now you're going to feel like, damn, he got me. And now he finally, after you've been belittling him, now he slept with you. Now he has a little bit of leverage in his mind. So now he's going to use that leverage against you. And now he's with you out of resentment. Because he's resenting how you treated him. But he played a game with you until he got what he wanted. Now he's going to show you his true character. Now he's not going to call you. Where before, when he was trying to get it, hey, babe, good morning. Damn, babe, you on your way to work? You looking good. Send me a picture. Let me see how beautiful you look. Damn, your hair look good. He gassing it up. And then, but you keep belittling him. I don't need no man. I don't know. I'll call you when I call you. All right. He going to be like, all right, babe. All right. And when he hang up, he going to be like, 2 more weeks. I should, about 2 more weeks. I give it 2 more weeks. And if I don't get it by then, I'm leaving. But if I get it by then, I'm showing my natural black ass then. Unfortunately, and it's terrible. I'm not advocating this. I'm not saying it's a good thing.
It happens all the time.
Literally. It happens. And it's terrible. It's terrible. because it puts us in a terrible cycle, and it is only harming us. It's harming us in so many different ways when we have that type of interaction between each other. It's harming our community, it's harming our children, and it's harming our love for one another. You take those three things away, what the hell else do we have? We don't own nothing. We don't own much. Even in our own communities, we don't own much. You don't go to the corner store. I mean, well, you're not from New York, but in New York, there's corner stores on every corner. And not one black person owns any of these corner stores. They're all different nationalities. Spanish people,
Indians.
Arab people, Indian people, African people, even though Africans are black, but they see themselves differently than Americanized black people. But that's a whole different show that I don't even think I ever want to have. but you don't see I don't see a black man opening up a black business in a black neighborhood. And that hurts us in two ways. It hurts us because we're not keeping the money within our own community. That's one. And two, another person is coming into our community, taking the money from out of our community and putting it into theirs. So you're losing twice. You know, you're losing twice. You know, because the money is not coming back into your own neighborhood, and you're spending money with someone that doesn't live in your neighborhood, and then they're taking all that money that you're spending with them and investing it
into their neighborhood.
Right. So you're actually losing it. You're losing double when you spend money with people that don't live in your own community, because they're never going to bring the money back into the community. They're going to go build up their house or wherever they live in another country. And in 20 years, they're going to move back to their country and live like kings and queens, while we still buying a Lucy from the corner store.
No, that's true though. Honestly,
it's the truth.
People don't think like that.
It's the truth.
Yeah,
it's the truth, and that's why I say, like, that's why I love doing this show, because regardless of how many people are watching, people need to hear this, and I might just come across the right person that has a bigger platform than me, and they might take this information and pass it on to somebody else. You know, that person might be you. You know, you never know. You know, but so damn, when I look up at the time, and I'm like, damn, time be flying. Like,
yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you, Baddie. I told you like 2 weeks ago, I said, yo, this is the Baddie I need on the show. And let me tell you, Baddie, you done held it the F down since I said that to you. I ain't gonna hold you. This is you got the microphone, you got the LED lights. Yo,
what's your favorite color? Is it purple?
Nah, my favorite color is, let's go with red.
Red?
Yeah, let's go with red.
Let's go with red real quick.
All right, hold up. I'm going red too. Let me go red too. All right, look, boom. Let me see. Where's the red at? Let's go red. Hold on.
Wait, this way.
All right.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Hey.
All right. That's right. I got a little bit of red and blue going on, but it's all good. All right. So I was saying, like, damn, I looked up at the time. We like 2 hours in, but the conversation is so good. But let me take a step back. I'm gonna give you the stage, Baddie. I want you can ask a question on the subject or around the subject of communication, and you can pose the question to me before we get up out of here. I want you to have an opportunity to pose a question that may be on your mind or in your heart about communication. Either something that you feel, something that you want to talk about, a question you want to ask, or maybe some advice that you may want. All right?
Okay. I'm just trying to have a good night. Hold up.
Water, Mike. I'm just trying to have a good night.
Okay. About communication, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're going to get up out of here.
Okay. I got it.
All right. So what's your question?
So, how can men and women better communicate with one another without it being that big disconnect. Because men have a certain way and women have a certain way, right?
Right.
But those ways don't necessarily blend unless both individuals can take a step back.
That's very true. All right. I'm going to answer it, and then I want to hear what you say, what you have to say about it. Because men and women do communicate so differently. In which way can we bring men and women's communication together so we can get along and be able to talk to each other?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I think that good communication has to start with having a true and honest respect for the other person's feelings that they are expressing to you. Even if, and here's the caveat, and here's the most important part, even if you disagree with what they are saying. Most of the time, it's easy to communicate when everyone is in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear no arguments bursting out at the, at a Republican party if it's only Republicans there.
Mm-hmm.
It's only when you throw a Democrat in the middle and then it blows up because his argument is different than everyone else's and he will set that room on fire. If you threw Andrew Tate in the middle of a feminist march, he would set that feminist. He's only one man, but he would set that march on fire.
Yeah, I agree.
Rest in peace. If you took Kevin Samuels,
oof,
and put him in the middle of anywhere where there's a congregation of black women, he would set that room and that place or that auditorium on fire. Because he would be speaking something that is in disagreement with the majority of the people in the room. So I think that true communication lies with having respect for what the other person is expressing to you, even if you disagree with what they are saying. When we on the same page, we good. We can communicate and talk about me and you could sit and talk about wrestling all day because we both love wrestling. So we're not going to get into a big argument. You're not going to be like, no, Seth Rollins is the best. And I'm like, no, Brock Lesnar. I'm like, yeah, I can see how you like Seth Rollins. He's a little bit more agile, where Brock Lesnar is more of a brawler, more of Matt wrestler. But we're not going to get into a big argument over it because it's something that we both agree on. We both love wrestling, So we're not going to get in a big argument over it. But now if we started to talk religion or politics, we might come across where it's like, nah, Baddie, I cannot rock with you. Well, how could you say that, Toby? I say it because of then it could escalate.
Yeah.
Because now we're in disagreement. But if we're talking about something that we agree about, how the hell are we going to argue? We in agreement. So I think the key to communication is being able to respect what someone has to say, even though you disagree with what they're saying to you. Respect what they have to say. And then also think before you speak in rebuttal. Before you give a rebuttal, think about what you're going to say. Because that's where the conversation and the communication goes flying out the window. Because now you respond out of emotion and you say something that you didn't really want to say or that you didn't really feel. And now there's no way you could take it back. And now I don't even want to talk about it no more. Because now we done moved into a different area. And now I don't even know if we could even be together after what you said. So whatever minute details that we was talking about in this argument, we done moved on to a higher plateau now. That's even beyond having a conversation about.
That's fair.
So those are the two things that I think we need to start with. Obviously, there's a plethora of other things. But those would be the two things that I would say. When you're listening, when someone is speaking to you, try to respect what they have to say. Understand what they have to say, even if you disagree. And number two, make sure that you are listening to truly understand and not just listening to fire back. So those are the two things that I think, and I think men and women have a hard time doing that with each other. Men and women and I'm talking about women and women, men and men sometimes, or younger versus older. Like, it's a lot of scenarios where communication gets messed up. But let's just keep it in the relationship realm. I think if we could do those two things, it would be a step in the right direction. If I disagree with you, I still need to listen to you, respect what you're saying, and take heed to what you're saying, because obviously if you're saying it to me, it means something to you.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So what do you think? What do you think would bring men and women together?
I think understanding where the other person is coming from, as far as, let's say, you know, I come home and I'm pissed, right? I already have a bad attitude. And then you're like, why you got a bad attitude? But it's like, you didn't know that, you know, I got blamed for something at work that I had nothing to do with. And now, you know, I have that instilled in me. So I have an attitude walking around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, from your perspective, if you look at it like, you know what, you had a bad day, let me just give you some time. And I feel like women don't necessarily do this. Men do. Because whenever I come home from work and I'm upset or like annoyed, Carrie leaves me alone until like I'm like, hey, how are you? Or whatever, you know?
Okay.
But women are more like, why you mad? What's the attitude for? What I do? Da-da-da. But if they just take the time to just think about what the other person's perspective is, then I feel like, you know, that would go a very long way in diffusing that argument. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If I can sit there and I can relate as far as like, damn, or like, for example, if you're driving, right, and a car cuts you off and you're like, how dare they cut me off? It's like, you know what, maybe they have a pregnant person in the back and they have to get to the hospital. Just being more rational about why the person's doing it, so that at least that makes me feel better, you know, instead of like being like, oh, he's attacking me. Not everything is about me. And that's what I've realized, is not everything is about me. Even if someone is pissed at work and they have an attitude, it's not about me. They got their own shit going on, you know? So.
Absolutely. So you're saying the key is to help men and women communicate better. It's just truly understanding
why that person is doing what they're doing.
Right. And I agree with
probably
you.
It's not probably an attack towards that individual or their partner. It's just they really just had a rough day and they just need to take a step back. That's what I feel personally.
Right. And I agree with you. Yeah. Being able to understand where the person is coming from, truly understand, will help you understand how to truly react. Because once you start thinking it's all about you, it's hard to not get into your feelings and your
dangerous
emotions,
road.
because you take it personal now.
That is a very dangerous road.
And you're right. It's very dangerous. So, I mean, it's, you know, when I have these conversations, I always feel like, damn, it was a great conversation, but it's still a lot more to talk about. It can go into a whole nother conversation. And that's what I love about being up on the platform and talking to different people and hearing your perspective and you hearing mine. And it's very important for people to see me and you, or you and whoever's on the stream, whoever's up on here with us, whether it's you, Jersey Devil, Ashley Larry, Hev, whoever it may be. It's good for people to hear two people talk to one another and give each other different perspectives and help each other see things in a different way. You know, that is very important, because if you do not allow yourself to see things in a different way, it's going to be very difficult for you to adapt. And it's going to be very difficult for you to grow. And relationship, whether it's at work, whether it's within your family, or whether it's within a relationship romantically, it's one thing that you all need those things to do, and that is to grow. You cannot stay at the same level with the man or woman that you met him 3 years ago, and then 10 years later, y'all at that same level. You have to grow. And the only way we can grow is to communicate with each other. We got to communicate with each other and push each other. Tell each other, this is what I need from you. This is what I need from back from you in return. Now let's work together and challenge each other to become better in those scenarios with each other. And that is where communication comes in. There's a lot of physical cues you can give a person. There's a lot of energy that you can give a person. But the only way you can know for sure that they know exactly what you're feeling is if you verbally communicate it to that person. That way, there's nothing left for assumption.
Mm-hmm.
You said this and it hurt my feelings. Do not speak to me like that again. That's it. Now it is clear as the sky is blue that what I said to A Baddie, she didn't like. Now, if I do it again, you can hold me completely and totally accountable. And if you say, Tovi, I told you once, and I'm not going to tell you twice. Don't ever speak to me again. Well, why? Why are you being so harsh? Because I already told you as clear as the sky is blue. I didn't like what you said, and I didn't like how you approached me.
Yeah.
And you did it again.
Right.
Now, do you want to be that harsh with someone? Maybe not. But if you speak to them and you have communicated to them clearly, then you have every right in the world to say, I communicated it, and you still keep doing it. Peace out. And they would not be able to say a word to you. Damn, you ain't have to be like that. You being so cold-hearted. I told you. Life is a cold world.
Mm-hmm. And your circle has to stay precious. You have to protect that. You just
Right.
can't let anybody in. So.
And I think that at the core of it, at the core of friendship, at the core of love, obviously, you need communication.
Mm-hmm.
A friendship can't grow without communication. A relationship can't grow without communication. You can't grow at your job without communication. Communication got to be in your top 3 of every kind of relationship that you have, or it's not going to prosper. So with that being said, maybe next Sunday, because I know I'm usually doing the show kind of late, and I know that you can't. You said you usually sleep at 10 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but maybe we could pencil you in for next Sunday because I start early on Sunday, and we can pick this conversation back up next Sunday. All right, hey, Baddie?
Absolutely.
Hey, Baddie, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. You helped me so much today. Shout out to Badgurl Sniper.
Yes.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. All right. Yeah, the champion, Badgurl Sniper. For everybody that's going to watch this, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed the conversation between me, A Baddie, and Badgurl tonight, hit the thumbs up. For anyone who watches this in the future and you got all the way to the end, God bless you. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. Make sure you hit the notification bell and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Join the WCIS community and continue to promote the positivity. Lord knows we need it. So with that being said, we're going to hit the outro. All right. It's your boy, Little Fat Mushy Toe, representing the WCIS. We can inspire someone. OPP. Only promote positivity. Shout out to Waterbed Hev. Shout out to Uncle DV. Shout out to Badgurl Sniper. And shout out to A Baddie. Thank y'all for joining the community that is all about a unity.
Bye.
Stay blessed, stay beautiful, but most importantly, stay positive. And until Tuesday, peace out. We up out of here. Later, y'all.